ladies and gentlemen, Suns fan here with the Cindermeister. Crit says have fun. Let's do that.
Doesn't mean it.
Yeah, he wants to win, of course.
He doesn't say good luck, though. He doesn't mean that. It's fine, you guys have fun as long as we win.
Have fun, bad luck.
Yes.
Is what he's trying to say. Falcons versus BetBoom game number 3 of this upper bracket finals. Winner goes to the grand finals. Loser goes down to the lowers to face off against Extreme Gaming.
It will not be an easy matchup for either of them.
I'm kind of on the same page as the panel here. And I was saying this as the draft was underway, Cinderin. I feel like BetBoom completely overreacted.
Right.
And, like the picks, the first phase bans, like the Shadow Demon, if anything, it feels like that was the biggest issue. But it feels like they should have won that game, though. Why switch it up so much? Now you're looking at a troll, which against Sven, sure, I can understand that, but against literally every other hero, it just feels terrible, doesn't it? Am I crazy?
I think this is a pretty bad troll game. And yeah. I don't even think the Sven is enough of a redeeming factor for me. Because I don't even think that carry matchup is very one-sided to begin with. Crit will die here for the most likely. Maybe this Avalanche can get him away, but I think they're just going to run him down with another set of axes. And
well, that's a good start.
Yeah, Troll's going to need another 10 of those the next 3 minutes. Then and he'll be popping off. Okay, so in all seriousness, Disruption is really annoying for Troll. Everything about Shadow Demon basically is annoying for you. You have a bad lane matchup against Viper. You have 2 displacement abilities in the Lasso as well as the Toss. And while the Sven matchup might be okay, he also still offers the Warcry for himself and his team to tank through you. So I think there's plenty of problems for BetBoom. Now the upside for them is they got their hands on their techies, which they've looked absolutely outstanding with on save. I really like it more when they play the Kunkka and Miero than GPK. Not because GPK can't play it, but I think the dynamic in their team, for me, works better when the Kunkka is the offlaner. So all else aside, my only real problem with their draft is actually the troll. And
Which is arguably the most important part.
we just see this hero lose so much. I feel like, have we cast a game that it won? Is my question. I feel like every time
when it wins it, I don't know. This hero is just weird. We've talked about it to death for sure. But I mean, you mentioned some of the abilities that counters that hero, but there's also builds that are just part of these heroes inherently that will make him way worse, like the Shadow Demon getting the Ags eventually, which it is snaking, so maybe he doesn't.
We'll say so far so good. He's 6-6 against this 0-0 of Amar.
Okay.
So
yep, that's one way to go about it.
He's winning his lane. I'll tell you that. That's quite the beautiful stat line, really. Amar yet to get a CS.
That is crazy.
He gets one.
All right, congratulations to Amar. We'll keep the camera on this just to make sure that he gets his last hits. All right, let's talk about these weird picks, though. So the Viper picked to counter the troll in lane. How does this hero fare as the game goes on, you think?
I think Viper's matchups in this game are quite good. There's a lot of magic damage, which you're very good at facing with your skin. And against the troll, your ult obviously always going to be amazing. So as long as the lane goes fine, I think it's a good game for it. And obviously Amar will be playing this as a carry. I don't think we're going to see Amar buy Ags and go nosedive.
Oh, Skeeter. It's in a bit of a pickle here. Miero continuing to chase.
Right click
to
one more
save,
swing.
not enough. Miero, can you catch up? The X should ensure the sticky bomb, which should lead to the kill. So nice pick off there for BetBoom. We're talking shit about their draft and their owning so far.
There's one more thing that we didn't really cover here. It's snaking on Shadow Demon.
Yeah.
It is not Crit, and I think it's going to be hard for snaking to play it as well as Crit, because in my opinion, Crit just played it the best out of the whole tournament whenever we've seen him on it. Snaking is also a very good Shadow Demon player, but I think the hero is quite different as a 5 compared to a 4. This hero benefits a lot from reaching, I want to call them certain breaking points in the game at the right time. We saw in the last game how massively impactful the Ags was. We saw how impactful the Blink was. As a 5, you're not going to get the same luxury. So perhaps that is going to, change the style of game a little bit. Well, like when we talk about how much it counters the troll, part of that is itemization. And maybe you don't get there as easily.
We have seen some scenarios where snaking will end up turning into the 4 and Crit kind of just, backseats it a bit to go to the 5. Maybe we see that after like the Blink Dagger comes online for Tiny or something.
Could be.
I agree. The Ags this game seems like it would be just a no-brainer that you would want it at some point, but...
Yeah, Breaking Troll is so good.
Yeah, even just the slow against the like you talked about, there's just so much to deal with. And you mentioned the Ags for Viper that you're assuming he's not going to go for, but that could theoretically, that's another kiting potential onto the Troll
maybe.
Warlord.
It's just Amar, and I know how he usually builds his Viper. It's Dragonlance, it's Scotty, it's damage.
Yep.
It's level 25 talent.
It's level 25 talent, huh?
Yeah, he builds the level 25 talent.
Okay. So the universal hero one?
Yeah, so I mean that's why that build is so powerful, because you buy these items that give all stats, right? That's why Scotty becomes absolutely incredible on this hero at 25, because you become a universal ranged hero with all these slows and tankiness. Still, so far so good. You gotta say for BetBoom, the top lane is going very well with the head start that Nightfall had. 23 and 12 denies against Viper is very good news. You don't want to have the Viper overpower you in lane. It's a big part of the dynamic here that Viper gets, say, level 5 in particular, so you can start playing aggressive with the poison. And of course, level 6 is a no-brainer there. The Kunk, however, not having the best time for BetBoom, so that's the one downside. But I think it's the best hero for them to have a bad lane on. I think it's way more important that the other two lanes go well. Mid seems like a draw. I was very curious to see how this lane actually does play out, but looks like the bat against Lina is kind of a wash.
Well,
better for bat than I thought.
Yeah, how does this game feel for the bat core, and why don't we see it generally, other than support?
So because of how good of a support it is, you always need to ask yourself, how much more do we get out of putting this hero on core? If it can do the majority of its tasks in the game in a support role and you can counterpick with a better core pick, I think it's very appealing to do that most of the time, and that's what most teams have been doing. Justifying this hero in a core position, it needs to be an outstanding game for the hero where you cannot imagine picking a core that makes it better. And that's just very unlikely to happen, but this time around they thought the Viper was it.
You can see a good amount of XP was stolen by Save, just by shadowing Malrine in the jungle. They were looking for a potential pickoff, but Malrine ends up back into the mid lane, halfway to his boots of travel. And 6-minute rune is upon us. It will be top. Malrine will secure it. Is he holding a point for last though? Because the invis certainly, yeah, he is. Invis could definitely be used to set up a kill.
Yeah.
As the support rotating means that Amar can kind of have his space.
And it's also the fact that Bat has an invis that actually makes top dangerous. Because at any given point in time, you can now TP Batrider, top use invis, and go for a quick move. So Nightfall has to be very careful, and that will give up space to the Viper to get a better laning stage going now. Arrow the siege creep here, will Toronto Tokyo to stop the push.
Yep, Toronto Tokyo, of course, coming off of an underwhelming performance, let's say.
That was not his best game. I think he would agree with that.
And I think BetBoom as a whole probably feel like they dropped the ball. I mean, we've said it time and time again. This team can play at the highest of levels, but it feels like there's certain games where they just give up a lead, and they do it quite consistently, especially at these later stages of the tournaments. As disruption from Snaking comes out, forcing out a TP from Save, but it's going to turn to a good old-fashioned tri-lane.
Yep. Don't think the Kunkka minds this too much. I think the lane against Sven is actually fine, 1v1, but he is kind of low on resources, so perhaps a little bit scary. But Miero will definitely not be struggling here.
But I think the reason that the draft was just so weird for me is like I said, you're overreacting with what happened in the last game. It didn't feel like it was mostly a draft thing, but you're giving up the Sven and the Shadow Demon, which I would say are the... Like we've talked about Amar and Malrine sharing a hero pool, and they've been so good this tournament, but it feels like the Sven Shadow Demon, specifically for Skeeter and Crit, even though Crit's not playing it here, have been their best heroes theoretically in this tournament. Arrow can be dodged. Oh, actually, it's the Shadow Demon instead, as a Laguna comes for Crit. Toronto Tokyo claims him, and now Snaking gonna get blood grenaded, pops the fairy fire. Toronto Tokyo looking to finish him up, but the neutrals get him instead as Amar wants to fight. This is a 1v3 situation. He just drops. And now GPK on the TP out, but he will die just barely. And Skeeter now coming. Another neutral will kill off Toronto Tokyo this time.
This neutral camp got as many kills as the teams did.
Yeah. So 1-for-1 split with a double kill from the neutrals.
It's like the Tanner in Werewolf.
As the lasso comes out onto Miero. Nice pick off here for Malrine. That's his first true rotation now that the boots of travel are up and running.
Yeah. He's the biggest winner out of all of this. Because with the Lina being traded away, and he's the mid-hero that doesn't die and then immediately makes another move, we'll start creating quite some distance to the Lina, 700 ahead currently. Getting some information about the enemy. Actually stacking their big camp so he can farm it on the way out.
Yeah, and blocks their Ancient as well.
Maximum efficiency here from Malrine.
What a nerd.
Yeah.
Toronto Tokyo will try to kill the creep, but just arrows the shield rune, man. Crit, not able to find that connection there onto Toronto Tokyo, but yeah, overall, laning stage, see how much work Malrine can get out of these boots of travel. Already found the 1 kill on Miero.
There's no counter to his BKB. I think that's worth keeping in mind. The enemy team does not have a save, and they don't have a BKB piercing stun. Those are generally two of the biggest utilities you want to have against Bat, and probably a big part of why Falcons chose to put it in a core role this game was that they just identified if he gets off to a good start, he can catch anybody he wants, and they're just going to die.
Yeah.
So, expecting the BKB blink in either order. Looks to be the dagger first that Malrine is considering here. And he will be kicking up the pace. And this hero is a bit different from what you might remember from a couple of years back. If you're playing core Bat, back then you felt like, oh, if I don't find a lot of kills with my lasso in the first 20 minutes, I'm going to fall off. This hero can be a monster late game.
Yeah.
There's definitely scaling potential.
Oh, Miero.
So
he's going to be spotted here.
if he gets off the boat, they might be able to counter this play unless he walks down the lane. Nope, not happening.
All right, good play from Miero then, as Malrine going to go looking for somebody else. But we can see the triangle is fully empty right now.
Just going to steal the stack.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, when you have invis on Bat, or Smoke, excuse me, the camp doesn't move, so you can just...
Yep, easy peasy.
Really makes you question the intelligence of these creeps. If you can't see what's burning you, are you really burning? It's kind of like the tree falling and nobody around to hear it. That's what it's like. Am I really on fire if I can't tell where it's coming from?
Yeah, we certainly need an upgrade to the AI for these neutrals. Very dumb. Of course, there was a time in Dota 2 where they didn't sleep either. That might have something to do with it. I think that causes brain damage, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, not sleeping for 7 years will probably... I don't think that's healthy for anyone.
Yeah. So, understandable that they're going to have some defects in their brains, of course. Can't blame them.
The first ones to go were the... What were they called? The dragon spawns in the big camp. They were the least tolerant of lack of sleep.
That's, you know,
what were they called again? Why can't I remember this?
The oh man, they're in Artifact as well. This is
so there were
Prowlers.
Right, they were called the Prowlers, yeah. And before that, in Dota 1, we had Jungle Stalkers.
Yeah, those had evasion, and we never saw them in Dota 2, which I'm a little bit surprised by.
Yep.
And
Malrine looking for save.
Break has the Arcane Rune, and he's gonna blast off immediately in the opposite direction to get away. Looks like they disengage, but the Moonlight Shadow from BetBoom. They're going to spot Amar. Do they want to set something up here? Looks like they do. Sticky Bomb to slow down Amar.
He's going to
X
get
as
arrow
well.
here.
Boat is coming. Arrow coming from Toronto. Tokyo will hit. That is the death of the Viper, as they will try to give the kill to Nightfall and be successful in doing so.
Big rotation, but a good kill.
There's a blink getting closer for Malrine. And in terms of the Troll Warlord, not too far away from Battlefield. This is going to be quite a good timing for Nightfall.
Yeah, this game is very much going to come down to how can they enable him. Because he could be as farmed as he wants, but with these bad matchups, if all the spells are correctly going on him for kiting, for slowing, it's still going to be difficult. So I think my hero to watch for this game is probably going to be Miero on the Kunkka. If he plays very good utility around the Tidal Wave and around the Torrent Storm, that's where you can create the type of fight that Troll can thrive in, where heroes are just bouncing up and down left and right, and you keep repositioning them so Troll can hit them. If we end up in a situation where Nightfall needs to just pop his BKB and run in and ult, I don't think that's going to work most of the time. So really got to enable it. Good news for BetBoom is, once again, the Techies has been outstanding from Save this tournament, so he can definitely offer a lot in the way of AoE stun and damage.
Yep, that's true. I mean, we talked about Sven and Shadow Demon being like the heroes of Falcon for this tournament in some ways. But like you said, the techies from Save, that's definitely a comfort, and he's played it better than... it's not really close on the techies that we've seen.
I would agree. He's just clearly better than every other player we've seen.
The scan is there. Save. Oh, he's going for the bigger target onto GPK. Gets the flame break into the lasso. Will he have the backup? It looks like that's not the case. As he gets hit anyway by the blast off. Interesting interaction there.
I've never seen that before.
Gonna have to get a highlight of that one once this fight is over.
There was literally just a flying nothing. Imagine you get stunned by thin air.
That's how powerful the mines from techies are. You're in another realm and you still explode properly.
Did he take the self-damage?
Well, we'll
probably
see
not, right?
Here's Malrine. Don't have the vision. Might be careful here. Nightfall's on his way over.
Oh, I don't think he meant. I don't think he meant to do that. Oh, I think he misclicked on Toronto Tokyo. That didn't seem like it was on purpose.
But Amar, he's left alone. Boat is there. Easy kill for BetBoom. Okay, here's the highlight. Let's see. Let's see his HP here. So he's about half HP right now. And he did not take damage.
Well, it's the tree throw that gets him so low. Okay.
That's pretty funny.
Skitter will claim mid tower. This is clearly the best team at playing Sven in this tournament.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see if Skitter...
You knew they were going to pick it, though, right? So save.
Nice flame break.
Getting gone on.
He's done.
He's done.
So I think, for me, the thing that sets this team apart from other teams we've seen play Sven is that Skitter has an incredibly good understanding of when to join and when not to join. All of these top-tier carries can farm. It's not particularly difficult to farm effectively on Sven if you have a free game. You run from camp to camp, everything dies in front of you. You need to pay attention to the map, of course, but at this level, all of the players have very good map awareness. So where he really sets himself aside is patience with teamfight selection. So he will be very patient with going in, depending on the circumstances, and he will be very selective with when he even joins to begin with. Many of the games, Falcons are fighting 4v5 for like 25 minutes before he truly shows up. For a lot of the other teams, they feel a little bit more forced to bring the carry, and then the fight goes wrong, and you miss your timing, and then you're not an item ahead anymore. So we'll see if Skitter can keep having masterful display on this hero. It would be a fitting way for them to go to the upper bracket, or grand finals, rather. Snaking, nice catch there from Miero.
Yeah,
X mark, and...
Arrow.
Oh, that's close to actually hitting, regardless.
He gets Gleipnir, though. That sets up the boat, and the Laguna, and the death. But yeah, like I said, I'm surprised that they let the Sven through. If they make the finals, honestly, I feel like I'd be surprised if they play Sven once. I don't see how that hero gets through. Feels like they've won every single game. As Skeeter, he gets a toss target, trying to beat down Miero. Has the blade mail, so he's going to take some damage, but he shrugs it off. It's the death of the Kunkka. Now Toronto Tokyo on the run, but the lasso finds him. And we'll find the right clicks of Skeeter to get that double kill. And he is far and away the top net worth in the game right now. Nightfall, number 2, has the Battle Fury, so that's going to be amplified quite a bit. And he's going for second item, BKB.
Dire are scanning.
And I wonder, I feel like it's going to be very telling what he gets after. Is this an Ags game? Is it...
No.
What do you buy?
I think you have to go S and Y, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean... He's going to show us...
That's just my problem with this hero.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of the time, no build really feels amazing. You know, you kind of get the least bad one.
You know, I'm just gonna, I know we're hating on this hero, and I'm going to continue to hate on it, by the way. I made it seem like I'm going to change it up, but I'm not. I feel like this hero has been picked way more than it has than it deserves at this point in the tournament. I don't understand why it keeps getting picked. I know a lot of these position 1s are getting banned, but surely they could have come up with something better. But Nightfall is going to show us something, Cinderin.
Yep.
He has to. He's going to show us how to use that ult. Lose control of your hero.
The good thing about that is if you press ult on troll, your team can't blame you. Because it wasn't...
You can't control it anymore.
It's like, as soon as you've used that, it's up to destiny how the fight goes.
That is true. But you can pop items now, so if you don't activate an item on time, then it is your fault.
But that's why you don't buy active items.
Okay, so no BKB then, you're saying?
No, you just buy Scotty, AC, Heart, and Butter.
Oh, that's
and
a good
hope it
collection.
works. And then you press your one button.
Fallen.
Whirling axes, yeah.
Oh yeah, true. You also have that. Yeah, okay. You just don't skill that. You go stats.
Watch him destroy this game. Make everybody here look like a complete moron. That's the thing, though. I love this hero. It just bothers me that he's being picked when he just doesn't seem good. But we'll see. We'll see. Snake King gets Philly Stone Cinderin.
Oh boy, time to become crit.
Yep, that's right. He's going for support items, though. That's unacceptable. Has the mech now.
If you had the Philosopher's Stone,
Radiant's
wouldn't your
courage
wish
has
be
been
to be
killed.
crit?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so it's probably the same for Snake King, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Oh, Nightfall initiated on Lasso. Skeeter is there with the Stormhammer, but they don't have enough damage, or do they? They
Here
do.
it comes!
They're kiting.
Run!
That ultimate is really
Run!
strong. Lose control of your hero for just a little bit of mana, and he's dead.
Guys, I pressed ult. I did everything I could.
All right, it's not your fault, Nightfall. It's not your fault, buddy.
To be fair, you could question his positioning of being there at that time without any support nearby, but that's not necessarily his fault. It could be a communication error, and honestly, most of the time this would feel a pretty safe position 20 minutes in, so I can understand. But obviously Falcons, it always becomes this game of, I wouldn't say rock, paper, scissors, but you're kind of like trying to outsmart each other with they think we're not there, therefore we're going to be there kind of thing.
Toronto, Tokyo.
He is dead.
Avalanche will cancel the TP.
Burned
Crit.
to a crisp.
Absolutely. 4K lead for Falcons, and now they're going to try to steal his Tormy. As we can finally talk a bit about a Mars item, since we were questioning what he was actually going to go for, as Snake King will get the Cleanse. Did go for the Mage Slayer Dragonlance, and
Yeah.
of course he gets the Grove Bow as well.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Love that one. We were talking backstage. I raised the question, what do you guys think? What do people... Is Light Collector ever not the best tier 2 neutral item on every single hero? And the general consensus was some ranged heroes, you want to get Grove Bow. And in some cases, you want to get the... Wow, it's eluding me right now. The Specialist Array.
Well, there's also the dodge item for TA.
Yeah,
game.
Gossamer Cape for TA specifically, more or less. And aside from that, it was just, yeah,
So situational.
probably Light Collector just best.
Yeah.
Most of all. But, of course, for Viper, Grove Bow is just S+. It's probably not replacing it until tier 4.
S plus or S double plus?
Is that T tier?
That's a Kezu tier.
Oh,
He's a big YouTuber now, so you got to get it right. S double plus.
S double plus.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with YouTube?
It gives him credibility. So you just copy him now.
Oh,
But he also puts E as a tier, which is just unacceptable. So
I see.
forget what I said.
Yeah.
7K lead for Falcons.
Never liked that guy.
That's right.
Okay. Kazu. Never liked that guy. 8K.
Yeah.
Okay, so Troll generally doesn't tend to do too well playing from behind. So I think he's going to need a lot of help from...
Can we go 2 minutes without talking about Troll?
Dire.
I think Kunkka is going to
Lasso,
be... Oh boy.
X into boat for Miero, but the Skeeter BKB, GPK is dead.
They
This
need
is getting out
Miero
of hand.
Ags, and they need to fight. And they need to do it soon,
Save.
before it's too late.
He's out.
Because this is falling apart for BetBoom really fast. They were actually doing quite well in the first 10, 15 minutes. But the last few, the lead that Falcons are building is growing very quickly. The Tormentor, now the Lina kill.
And now the pit. Mr.
Yep.
Roche is available.
It was quite slow. God Strength expires, but they probably feel confident that BetBoom can't do anything about it without their Lina.
BetBoom will get as much as they can out of the map during this period of Roche taking. It looks like Octarine is on the menu for Malrine.
Fun fact, that's where his nickname comes from.
What?
The Reen is from Octarine,
Okay.
and the Mal is from malicious or malnourished, depending on the day.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you. Dota players
other words
typically
start
are
with Mal?
malnourished. Maleficent.
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 Yeah?
Radiant.
Oh, Amar is spotted.
Malding. Uh-oh, Amar.
Yeah, blast off. This is the one core they've been able to take out continuously in this game.
He was worth quite a lot. They got 1,000 for that. Okay.
It is a trade for Roche, though. And Skeeter, I don't know what his record... I mean, I know that Falcons' record in general is pretty damn good.
I don't think he's lost on Sven.
I was going to say, I wonder if they've lost on Sven once this tournament.
Maybe in group stage 1?
That's the only time... Because I think the one game they lost was against Aurora, and I don't think he was playing Sven. Could be wrong, of course.
They were playing against Dusa. He was Luna, I think, in that game.
Malrine giving Amar a little tap. Like, bro, we're roshing. Don't die. You died. So how much can they get with this Aegis is the question. And when can BetBoom fight? You got the BKB on Nightfall. You got the BKB on GPK. And I guess Miero is what they're waiting for the Torrent Storm.
Get the Torrent Storm running, and then...
Still 1,100 away, though, so it's not like it's going to be super fast. Oh, wait.
150 away. He does have the...
Okay,
he's just queuing up BKB after. Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to get it.
That's the timing, then.
Crit with the vision. They might turn this into something. Malrine from the right.
Yep, Avalanche finds Miero. Arrow is going to hit crit, but the last onto the other side. He bounces him back up, so Skeeter can right-click to his heart's content. The pirate has died.
That was a really funny sequence with movement. So first they Stormhammer in, and Skeeter ends up on the high ground while Malrine is pulling him to the low ground. It's like, oh, that wasn't good. So he knocks him back up with
That's just
the
a little
break.
Casual game of ping pong here at DreamLeague.
Kumka does substitute well for a volleyball. Oh, that's nice.
I said ping pong.
Yeah, but I said volleyball.
Ping pong's cooler. 8K lead for Falcons, running away with this thing. Ags on Skeeter. And finishes the harpoon as well. So even more ways to connect. And there's the St. Joshua for Nightfall. That extra status resistance, which I mean, it is very good this game. It's just, it does feel like they have way too many tools, does Falcons, to kite the troll.
I think he can still find impact in this game if they somehow manage to kill Snaking as the initiation. Maybe they catch him with a blast off or an arrow and just nuke him down with the Lina, and then Troll starts entering the fight. Because he can definitely stand his ground against the Sven. He's not going to be happy to get Viper ultied.
Oh, Viper strike. Miero's coming in from behind. This is going to be a surprise Aghanim Scepter for him, but the Troll is dead already.
Oh, okay.
Are they going to still fight? Yes, indeed. The boat is coming. The lasso onto GPK. He's completely surrounded now, trying to TP out. Will be successful as a Stormhammer connects onto 2. In the midst of the Torrent Storm, Miero will fall. So just like that, 3 dead as Falcons extend their lead.
Yeah, that's not how the fight is meant to start for BetBoom. That's about as bad as it can get. You get jumped on the Troll, he dies and doesn't even get BKB or ult off. And then you try to fight after. You need his damage in the fight. Yep. You also get in an awkward position. The enemy team has the high ground ward. You don't have vision. Lina gets caught running in. She didn't die, of course, but the rest of the teammates kind of have to throw themselves at the enemy team.
If you get Viper struck as Troll, you can't fight your way out of it. You're broken. Like, your fervor doesn't work. Like, what are you going to do?
Yep.
Like, Trolls are typically here. You get initiated, and then you pop your ult, and you fight through it. You can't do that if you're Viper struck.
He's queuing up Ags. I think he should buy Lincolns, honestly. And I know it probably feels really bad, but, like, it's probably the least terrible choice, I would guess. Oh, they don't have the best breaks for it, right? I guess, I mean, Batrider could just buy a Force Staff to take care of business himself, but aside from that, there's a Force Staff on Tiny that could break it. Stormhammer. It's also nice to Lincoln the Sven stun. Or to Lincoln a Demonic Purge would also be great, as we talked about. That's going to become another break eventually. I think the Lincolns would be nice, but he's still going for the Ags. So what can he dispel here?
Let's see.
Poison attacks. Corrosive Skin.
Sticky.
Sticky.
And then in terms of stuff you take off the enemy, Warcry until the shard comes in.
Yeah.
And that's it?
I think so.
I mean, you do lower the cooldown dramatically. As we hear a lasso, Miero's going to take the initiation and die. No buyback. As The Laguna Blade, oh, nice disruption. It's going to keep the Batrider alive a little bit longer, but stay with a beautiful initiation onto 2. They're going to be able to take out Crit as a result. And there's the Nightfall ult focusing on Skeeter as he tries to take out GPK, but he's going to try to turn his sights now as the arrow's coming in. Will do some damage, and that is the death of Skeeter, surprisingly enough. But now Nightfall, kind of left to his own devices, will get kited and eventually brought down. So a better fight than I was expecting from BetBoom, but they still lose 4 and only get 2 in return.
Yeah, this is the perfect target to open on if you can. I mean, this or Troll. Either is good as long as you finish the kill immediately. Nice disrupt there. As you said, from snaking, makes a huge difference. If Malrine dies in this burst, I actually think BetBoom might just win this fight. But Malrine keeps playing the outskirts of the fight. He kills off the techies. He keeps the control onto Nightfall after this as well.
And this is where Troll is good. In a 1v1 with any carry, he's going to do some work. As there's no way he's going to die again on this Kunkka. Nice disruption coming in from Snake King again. As Malrine, he's going to get blast off by Save. Double mines are going to be there despite the lasso.
Did they bite over too much here? I think they might have just.
Yep, Amar is going to get X back into the Torrent. Toss back from Crit into the Ava. Trying to take out Toronto Tokyo. And they will do that. I don't think they can stay any longer, though, as Amar will walk away the rest of his supports. So BetBoom showing a little bit of a fight back here, but it's just not enough. I feel like it's going to need something to go their way emphatically.
I'm trying to wrap my head around what the perfect way for a fight to start is for BetBoom. If they are the ones getting initiated on, and it's either Troll or Kunkka getting jumped, I feel like the fight is almost already doomed. Like, that person is going to die, and the follow-up 4v5 is stupidly difficult without either of them. But if you're the ones initiating, I guess the dream scenario is that you find and kill Shadow Demon instantly with some sort of Lina burst from the trees, or... Because even an X-Mark start is not great, right?
Yeah.
It's Shadow Demon ruins this hero so much. Like, you find this opening, the target just gets disrupted during the combo, they turn around, and then in the follow-up engagement, you can still offer the ult onto the Troll.
I wonder if Nightfall is going to take the 25 talent for the Whirling Axes pierces magic immunity. I assume the fact that it pierces mean that the miss chance is there. And I mean, you have a lower cooldown, so basically you can have these Whirling Axes perpetually on the Sven. But he can eventually go for MKB if he wants.
Yeah.
And you're still only answering one hero when the other 4 are the ones kiting you, essentially. See how that works out for him, though. I'm interested to see.
There's definitely problems aplenty right now for BetBoom to figure out. Big part of the net worth differential here, which is 17,000.
Dire are scanning.
About, what's that? 10k of that pretty much, or 8 is on the supports alone.
Yeah.
So half the lead is on supports and half the lead is on cores, which means these supports will have an extra item each.
So BetBoom, they did scan the pit and it procced, but then they saw that somebody had walked out, so then the red icon or whatever went away. So I think they know that Roche isn't quite up, and it actually is quite the long spawn.
Yep, they have plenty of time, but they don't know it.
Well, I think they do a little bit because of the scan. It's Miero. It's going to run into Malrine. Sticky Napalm initiation with the BKB. If they get Miero right off the bat, which they will, no Torrent Storm this time. BetBoom have to run immediately, but now the Viper Strike onto the BKB. Lina trying to fight her way out of this. It's not to be, as the Yules will cancel a TP of save, as the question mark from Amar comes out. 3 dead for BetBoom. And this is where BetBoom might tilt. They definitely have the propensity to do so. As Skeeter leading the way, the God Strength about to end, but we can see there are no buybacks on these heroes, so it should be at least one set of barracks.
I think you just continue bottom. We've got plenty of time.
Yeah, they know that Kunkka has all his spells since they bursted him down before he cast anything. So maybe they try to respect that as
they already have lasso again, though.
They spotted out Miero.
Oh,
lassoed again, but he does get the boat off this time. And the Whirling Axes come through with the Battle Trance as well, as Skeeter trying to run away now, but Miero already fell, and on Nightfall basically getting kited, tossed back. We talked about this pregame. This hero just does not feel playable against these heroes. He's dead for 80 seconds. And this might be it. GGs are called as Falcons will go on to the grand finals here at DreamLeague, and BetBoom to the lower.